Hey everyone, I'm Nick, and welcome to the channel. Now if you're like me, when you're sitting in your car, you like to be nice and dry. Right now I'm in my 2011 Mercedes E-Class, and recently it was not dry.
Wow! It's pouring.
So as you can see, there was a really serious leak on the passenger side. And in this video, I'm going to show you how I figured out what was going on and how I fixed it. So let's get to it. So the water's been collecting down here in the footwell. You can kind of see a little bit of moisture there and a lot down there. So this is not good because if that goes up higher, there's actually a module in here. I think it's the SAM, and that's a bit of a pain to replace. So we want to avoid having issues with that. The foam underneath is also wet, which is frustrating. But we're going to use a towel to like soak it up as best we can and leave this folded back to help it dry. Now, it seems like the issue is from the sunroof drain here. Yeah, and we've been spraying it, and what's supposed to happen is it's supposed to come out back here. So when we first tested it, the water comes down here, and then we were seeing it run on the outside of the engine bay seal, like under the hood and dripping out down there. But it's supposed to drain out here. So if drain is blocked back here, it might be backing up somewhere and getting into the passenger footwell. So we're gonna get it in the air, pull the wheel off, pull back the wheel liner, and find the outlet of the sunroof drain. Now with the car in the air, we're gonna work on pulling at least the rear part of the wheel liner out. Some clips here, you pull the center pin out and pop it out. Some 10mm nuts. Oh, and this is a 2-piece wheel liner, so we're definitely taking out the rear half. You got 10mm plastic nuts here and here and up here. And down here, there's another, that's probably an 8. And another one right there. And I think that's everything. And there's another 10 right here. These clips here. There we go. So this piece gets retained by the center pin. So when you pull the center pin out, it's easier to take this out. Okay. Now we should be able to work this out. Back here, this is supposed to be where the water comes out. So there's definitely moisture in here from when we sprayed the sunroof earlier. So let's get this cover off. All right, let's see. How does this come off? Let me try to get this out of the way first. Okay. Cowl drain comes out. It's kind of like this part goes behind the panel, and this part stays in front. This is not the issue. And this here is the issue. I don't think it's blocked, but this can get blocked. Doesn't seem like it is. This is inside the drain. I'm trying to look on either side for any tears. I don't see light coming through, so that's a good sign. And this goes up into the sunroof drain, and we don't see any water in there. And we poured a bunch of water in, so clearly not coming through this. We get weed whacker line from the top and monitor it to see if it'll come out here. Hasn't made it back here yet. We could also try to blow air up from the bottom. We also tried blowing air up here through the exit, and nothing came out of the top. So it's blocked somewhere. Next step is going to be to try to feed in some weed whacker line. I'm going to try to melt this into a ball so it doesn't catch on the drain hose. And then we'll try to go in slowly. And I can try to push it in from here. Okay, we're getting lots of length in here. No water's coming down yet, but
What?
I got it a lot farther, but
The clog, I think, is a lot higher.
yeah. So pouring hot water in from the top.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's coming out inside the body up here.
Inside where?
Inside the frame, not the...
Yeah, it looks like it leaked almost immediately.
Yeah, so it's coming down here out of these holes. So in the chassis behind the fender, I guess, somehow. But not in the not in the drain tube. So let me pull it out and see how far we got. That's most of the way up, probably. But there's no water in the tube. Is it behind the trim or something? Is there a trim that covers the drain hose? Yeah, because that doesn't come out the hose at all. It just comes out.
So it's not going in the hose?
I guess not. Do you see any moisture inside the car? You see anything down there?
Huh? Yes. Oh, it's leaking from. Oh, wow.
Wait.
You can see where the water is on the towel, but it's literally dripping on the inside of the, like where the glove box is.
Okay, that makes sense. Is it happening inside? I can't see.
Yeah, wow. It's pouring. Something very wrong with the sunroof drains. It's not coming up from the bottom, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Here.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I guess one thing we could do is pull the A-pillar trim off.
Yeah. And I think open the glove box.
Yeah.
Hell, open the door and see what's going on. You can see, if you pulled that.
Yeah. That trim panel out.
Yep.
I don't think it's wet in the glove box, at least. Okay. It's wet back there. Very wet there.
A-pillar.
Yeah, so we gotta go up the A-pillar next.
It's pouring down the inside of the windshield wiper. Oh, windshield. So.
In the windshield, too. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this drain point can get clogged, and this is how you would get to it if it did get clogged, but that was not the issue here. Now this is gonna have to like slot back in. Unfortunately, the drain situation for the W212 E-Class with the panoramic sunroof is not very well documented. There are two drain points behind the fender, the plastic part from the cowl area, and the cross-shaped drain hose. That hose is likely a sunroof drain, but not the sunroof drain we're having issues with. I think the standard non-panoramic sunroof drain exits here, though it could be something else entirely. If you know where that goes, let me know in the comments, but spoiler alert, we managed to fix the problem. If you're able to check that drain point without removing the angled plastic drain pipe, I highly recommend leaving it in place. After a lot of frustration, I ended up with a very bruised forearm and a drain pipe that was still not installed. I also tried removing the battery to install it from the other side, but had no luck there. You could probably remove the wipers, cowl, and cabin air intake parts to install it from this side, but that's a lot of work and I'm not doing it. We'll just take the fender off later and reinstall it. Oh, just take the fender off. Trust me, it's easier and it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought. Alright, now let's keep looking through here. I'm going to take the A-pillar trim off on that side. We need to get this off. That's a torque screw. So there should be a clip down here. Alright. So this here clips in over here. Clearly the drain from the sunroof doesn't live in here, so it's probably inside the A-pillar. So we're gonna look around. Let's see if I can spot anything in here. I'm looking for a drain or something. So right here we can see into behind the headliner, but this is the area of the sunroof that is sealed. So I'm able to get the borescope camera into this area to see. And I guess maybe I can use that as a reference because we think the leak is probably further forward. So let's take a look. So I turn the light off. You can kind of see there's light there. So I have to go away from that a little. So that side here was further in. So I want to look away from that. Or in case we can get better visibility, I'm gonna get this trim off. Just pull up carefully and slide it down. Let's take a look here. Let's move that out of the way. Careful, this is a painted part. You don't want to scratch it. And that clips in here, so you pull up away from the windshield. And there, so there's a path here for water to go down, but that doesn't explain how water is getting into that area. So let's take a look, make sure everything is clean. We've got some dirt up here. Let's try to clean it up and make sure there's no place for water to get in by the windshield. There's dirt collected here, yeah. So if water gets into this area, it'll drip down here and over here, which we saw previously. Which can go into the behind the fender. Oh, where's that? What is this? This just caps off a couple of studs back here. So water can get in here and inside the frame rail. And it looks like water has been getting in there. But then it can drain out into the fender area down here. But I still don't see where water could go in to the body yet. All right, next we're gonna remove the drip rail here. So for that, I'm gonna close the sunroof again. Now to remove this, we work from the back. And we're gonna pull it up. It's clipped in along the way here. So there are 5 clips. 1, I think 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're gonna start from the rear. They're basically centered on this part. So we use our trim tool and then work our way forward. Okay. Whew, it's pretty scary doing this. Oh, okay. This seal is not super attached, but we will fix that. You can see here it just clips inside these rails. I'll show you the rails. So that clips into here, and on the front, kind of slide it in there. Now let's see. I guess water's supposed to, I guess it does run through here. So it's supposed to come through there. Let's open this back up again and take a look. So water gets in here, and then where does it go? It looks like there's some hole plugs in there. And then the windshield there. So I ended up pouring some water here to test. Kind of runs down, splashes up here, and then goes down the A-pillar and down in here. This drain that goes to that angled pipe behind the fender is for the cowl. So, where I said right here, where it looked suspicious, yes, I was right to be suspicious because as you can see, there's a drip here, and it turns out it was actually coming in up there, like along the seal with the windshield. So it's in that area. Now, in a really ideal solution, you would reseal the windshield all the way across. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna let this dry, and then we're gonna try to add some extra sealant in here, hopefully a little further back too, but really in this area down here, and hopefully that will seal it back up. But in the long term, it's likely we're gonna have to remove the windshield and reseal it, or even potentially replace it. So it's, I guess, kind of a design flaw that you know, your water keeps coming in here, and potentially over years and years of freeze and thaw cycles or just deterioration on the seals here, water starts to get in. I guess they're space limited, but in a more ideal situation, you would actually have a dedicated drain hose that wouldn't rely on the window seal. So, but it is what it is. So we'll let this dry, we'll be back, we'll put some sealant in there, we'll let that cure, we'll test it, and then we'll put everything back together. And then we'll pull the fender off to put that stupid hose back in, because ugh. So cleaned up the seal area down there. I've got a syringe here that I'm going to use to apply black RTV. So let me get that ready. There we go. You can see, I kind of went over it a couple times, but it actually looks pretty good. So, kind of gone from the edge further in over there. So the next step is going to be to let this cure, and then we'll test it again and see if water's still getting in. That went about as well as I could have hoped, so we'll see if it worked. Fingers crossed. So we got our new, our extra sealant in here. Now if it leaks, we'll see it in here.
Tell me when.
Okay, go ahead.
Oops.
That is not from where it leaked before. Oh, now there's water in here. Damn, okay. There's a drip there.
I have a theory.
What?
It might be along this edge.
Oh, we could do that too. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that worked.
Oh, at all?
Unless the failure is further up. All right, so we're gonna do more RTV. I'm gonna go all the way across. Try to, anyway. So we're gonna let that cure for an hour and then see if it worked.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll work. I still see some. Jeez. Yeah.
Well, it's still leaking?
Yeah. That's fast. It's like quickly too. Where is it coming from? So from the inside, it looks like it's actually coming from above the butyl or whatever sealant. So let's see where the water goes. So it comes there. Unless it's, yeah, is it up in here maybe? Could be coming in through there. Okay, stop. It seems like it's here. Yeah, it's, okay, so it looks like it's actually not so much the bottom side that I sealed, but actually here. So it does seem to be coming in above this, not at the bottom. So this here and potentially right there. So if you want to apply another, I guess we'll do a little bit here and then more in here. So this here is the urethane or butyl or whatever you want to call the adhesive that sticks the windshield down. And apparently it's separating from the windshield. Yeah. So we're drying it a bit before we put RTV in there. And this is a stopgap, but it should keep things dry. So apparently what happens is this sealant fails on both sides, so water can come in underneath and above it, between the glass and the sealant, and between the body and the sealant.
Yeah, I guess if this does happen, the fix is to get the windshield removed and have it resealed or reinstalled with new urethane. What we're doing now is just
protecting the sand.
Yeah, because the whole problem of this, aside from water getting in your car, which is a problem in and of itself, the water pours and pools around the footwell where the SAM is, the signal acquisition module.
Under that panel.
Yeah, metal panel. And when that goes, you then have to fix this problem and then replace a SAM. And
get that coated, and
it's incredibly expensive. It mechanically totals most cars. Whereas this is $200 to $400 worth of labor.
Let's put some more TV in there. Down to about here. And hopefully that'll do the trick. So we'll try again in about an hour. All right, another test. Let's see. I don't see anything. A good sign.
Yeah, it poured all over.
I don't see anything. I'll pour some more.
Yeah, well, it's overwhelming the seal and pouring on top of the windshield.
I think we did it. Yeah, that is dry.
And that's the end of the water bottle.
Nice.
And that would have to be, the car would be in the middle of a hurricane.
Yeah, for that volume at once. Now that the leak is fixed, let's get the drain pipe we removed earlier back into place. To do that, I'm going to remove the fender. We're going to take the front of the fender liner out. There's a terminal here. We have some pins here, here, and here. So we got to get to these bolts. There's one here and then one further up for the fender. One more pin right there where it's wet, and then 2 8mm over there. That should get the front out. Here are our last 2 screws. Just come out here. Just be careful around the edge of the fender. There we go. Now here, there's 2 screws in here that hold the front bumper to the fender. I'm gonna put the wheel back on and we're gonna work on the fender outside. All right, so now we're gonna take the fender off to put that drain pipe back in. And if you're able to clear the drain hose that we saw before without taking it off, that's great. But if you do have to take it off and you're not able to get it back in with the fender in place, I guess just remove the fender and keep moving. So mark these in marker. I'm gonna cut through these and we'll use these as references to realign it. We're gonna get the 1 bolt that's in the door, through the door, back there to 10. Now after that 1 bolt, there are 2 down there, and then 2 between the fender and the bumper, and then the 3 up at the top. Now to get to the ones at the bottom here, there are these retainers. It's got like a big coin slot, like large screwdriver slot. You turn them 90 degrees, pop them out. And I've taken 3 out along here, and then we can unclip this, pull it forward, and get to those 2 bolts.
That is perfect.
Okay, so you can see the clips are here, and we use this tool.
No.
This side?
Yep.
Okay, sure.
You put it in like this, near the thing, and you just lift up, and it lifts it right up off of here.
Yeah, because it's a straight out
Yeah.
clip kind of thing there.
And then when you're going to put it on, you just lift it up and over.
Mm-hmm. Nice. And that is enough to get to the 2 nuts right in there. So we'll do those next. So in the corner here, it's a Torx bit. It's T27. Let's do the other one. All right, that's number 2. Now we can do the top. Up and out. It goes this way.
Okay.
There's like 2 pins on the bumper.
Okay.
And so it should come up off of it. Yep.
Oh, but that's okay. At least you didn't wang the door.
Oh, I thought, sorry.
No, it's
And
my fingers.
getting it forward.
Okay.
What was catch? Okay, it was the lip. Oh, because the clips for that are here. All right, so
Wow, that is a
right here,
very light fender.
there's 2 pins on the bumper. Let's pull this up and out. So I guess with the view we have here, you can see the drain here. that we saw before. This is what needs to be where that drain pipe goes. And this is what I was struggling to put back together by reaching in. I got a huge bruise here. It was terrible. But now we're able to fix it. So this has to go through this opening, but also this drain here, which is for the cowl drain, right there, from there, has to sit in this opening, which makes it very difficult to reach. And then this clips in. So let's see what we can do. I think from the factory it's installed from the top side, which makes it a little more difficult here. I think I need to use a trim tool to like push it in. I'm gonna try to push it in from the sides with this. I'll leave links to the trim tools I used in the description. Okay, it's working. It's working. I think. What a relief. Okay. So I ended up starting on this side, pushing that through in there, doing a little bit here, and push that in all the way through. I was able to work the bottom in, and then get the top in, and I was able to pull this back out, pull it all out a little bit until these set, and we're good. Nice. I don't think I would have been able to do that with the fender in place. And now with that back in, we can put the fender back on. You know what? We're gonna wipe this out first. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna tuck this down here, get the front in.
Make sure it doesn't hit the door.
Now we have to tip that up. Okay, that is connected to the bumper. Oh, no, okay. That looks good.
That looks very good.
Yeah, I used the paint marks from the original bolts, and that seemed to work, so I'll get the last one in, I'll tighten everything up, and put the skirt back on.
It'll pull it back up and all. Yep.
You put these back in? Oh, I see. The soft, like the fabric-y under tray has to go over the lip of this. That's why we're getting resistance. Down here, you want to keep an eye out on this, and this is where is where those retainers go. So when they're in, they'll be in line with the car, like that. There you go. Now let's get this front exterior A-pillar trim back into place. This clips in along here. You can use these as reference points where the clips went on. So these little dents align with the center part of the clip. Looks good. All right, now we're gonna put the drip rail back on. When we slot it in, it has to hook on here. And at the back, we need to be careful that this seal goes over the back of the drip rail. So I'm actually gonna put some floss here. And that should help me swing that back over when it's in place. So this here hooks on up at the front. Damn, okay. Oops. I didn't quite get the seal out. Oh, it was an attempt. Here we go. To make it easier to reinstall the side skirts, I'm actually going to remove this panel here, and maybe this one too. While we're here, it's a good opportunity to check for any leaks or anything, but everything looks good. Now let's fit the front part of the wheel liner back in. These tabs are threaded, so they're going to go over the two holes back there. One nut here. The top one will go back in when we put the rear part of the liner in. Make sure the pin part is pulled out as far as possible. Makes it easier. Got a pin over here. And 2 screws up here. Now I'll do the rear part. Now the last 2 screws are here and here, but they also retain the under trays, so let's put all that back together at once. All right, our last step is to reinstall our trim here. As always, work with clean hands. Use a magnetic bit too, or a magnetic screwdriver, so you don't lose your thing. And we're done. Nice. And with that, the leak's fixed and the car's dry. So if you end up in the same situation, maybe you can skip some of the steps and figure out what the issue is without having to take the fender off later. Now, actually, I did say everything's fixed, but earlier when we were driving this car, the passenger door speakers stopped working. And I think that might be relating to the water pouring in that area. So that's something I'm gonna have to fix very soon, and I'll be making a video. So if you wanna see it, don't forget to subscribe. If you enjoyed this video or if it helped you out, don't forget to like it and to hype it. And if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. If you wanna see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.